friends, welcome back to Food Prep Guide, and we are in the kitchen, but this is a gardening video. We are preparing our potatoes for planting. Now, full disclosure, I am not an expert potato farmer. I am just a backyard gardener who experimented with potatoes for 2 years. This is going to be my third year. And while I have slowly improved year over year, I have not reached the point of I'm a pro potato person. So take that with a grain of salt. I have learned a lot, I research a lot, and I try to implement what I research, so I hope that this is going to be helpful for you. There are two ways, well, if you ask the experts and the powers that be, whoever they are, they say you can only or should only plant certified seed potatoes. You'd have to purchase those at a local farm store or a co-op. The closest one that sells certified seed potatoes to us is almost an hour away, and they're expensive. And I'm growing potatoes because we want to be as frugal as possible, so I'm not going to drive an hour away and spend a ridiculous amount on certified seed potatoes. I have sprouted potatoes, store-bought organic potatoes. This will be my third year, and it's worked just fine. So you do what you want, research it, but organic potatoes from the store has worked fine for me. One of the awesome things about gardening is experimenting with your land, not necessarily following what they say, whoever they are, right? Okay, so it is important when you're purchasing from the store for the purpose of sprouting and growing your own potatoes is that you purchase them organically. That's because non-organic potatoes are usually sprayed with a sprout inhibitor, and you need your potatoes to sprout to grow. So about a month or more, 1 to 2 months before I'm ready to plant my potatoes, I purchase several bags of organic potatoes from the store, and I store them in a cool, dry, dark place. For us, that's in our laundry room back behind this shelf, so that even when the laundry room light is on, it still stays pretty dark, and that's just where we store ours. And after 1 to 2 months, this is what you get. You get potatoes that are sprouting. This one only has sprouts on one side, so let me show you another one. Okay, not really. Normally, you'll see these sprouts, they start out as eyes, like that, and then they sprout into little things like that, and normally you'll have them several sprouts throughout the potato. For whatever reason, these two bags are all pretty much clustered together on the same size, which is going to make this whole process a little more difficult. But basically what we're doing is you can plant the whole potato in the ground like this, and now that I'm seeing how these are all sprouting on one end, I think I'm going to take one bag and just put them in the ground whole. I did that last year. I did put them in the ground whole, and then the other way is to cut them so that in large chunks, so that each chunk has at least one eye, if not two eyes. If you can cut them so that each chunk has two eyes, even better. So for instance, what I could do is, you see this gap right in between these two sprouts? I could take my knife and cut just like that. And let me just go ahead and do that real quick for purposes of demonstration. It's just a way to get more potatoes. The more eyes basically you put in the ground, the more potatoes you're going to get. So let me just cut this like that. So now from that one potato, we have two seed potatoes. This one has an eye. This one has 2 or 3 eyes. And I would do this with the rest of the bag. Like I said, now that these are all sprouting the same, I'm going to leave one bag whole, put those in the ground whole. That's perfectly fine. And then I'm going to do one whole bag and try to chop them up as best I can to where they each have an eye on them. The next step after you chop them with an eye on them is to lay them cut side up inside some sort of box. And I don't know if you can see, it's kind of glistening. It's very wet and very moist and a little bit squishy when you first cut the potato. And what we want is we need to dry out that part. We need it to form like a scab. We don't want it to be moist because potatoes are prone to rot, and we don't want them rotting in the ground. So this step of I don't want to say curing, because it's not really curing, but just allowing about a week or two for this cut potato to form like a scab and kind of harden up a little bit. That's going to help prevent rotting in the ground. And then once you have all of your potatoes filled up in a box, I have multiple boxes here, just, you know, use ever how many you need. They're going to go back into that cool, dry, dark place to allow that to scab over. So I'll put these back in my laundry room and then wait for them to scab over, and they're ready to go on the ground. So I will, let's see, I'm trying to think, I think I'll do a separate video of actually planting the potatoes and just keep this one preparing the potatoes for planting. That way it won't be too long, take up too much of your time. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna do both methods. I'm gonna put one bag whole in the ground just like that. I'm about a week away from planting potatoes, so I'm just gonna put that whole bag back in my cool, dry, dark place, chop up all the rest of these, and we will see you when it comes time to plant them. Bye.